Legend says certain gifted musicians can play music so true it tears the veil between the living and the dead, calling spirits from the past and future. That gift heals, but it also draws evil. A bloodied young man named Sammy stumbles into his father's Sunday church service, clutching a battered guitar. His preacher father begs him to drop it and return to God. Growing up, Sammy's mother gently scolds him for using the wrong soap, a small tender moment before he heads out to help his father prepare for Sunday service. At the mill, Hogwood needles the twins about whether they're really serious buyers, and warns them the property comes with hard history attached to it. Next morning, twin brothers Smoke and Stack arrive back in Mississippi, after years running with gangsters in Chicago, ready to buy an old sawmill from a local landowner named Hogwood. Twins pay for the mill in cash and warn Hogwood that if he or any of his clan associates ever cross their property line, they'll be killed on sight. At home, Sammy's preacher father pressures him to help deliver Sunday's sermon, warning that dancing with the devil eventually brings the devil home. Sammy's cousin picks him up anyway, and Sammy asks the twins for the truth about how their own abusive father really died years earlier. Riding along, Stack teases his young cousin about romance, and reminds him repeatedly not to look too long at anyone else's woman while they're working. At the train station, Smoke pays a local girl to watch their truck and warn them if anyone gets too curious, part of the twins' careful plan for their grand opening night. They stop by the Chow family store to arrange catfish for 100 guests and a hand-painted sign, while a would-be thief tries to rob their truck and gets shot for his trouble. Driving out to gather supplies, Stack finally reveals to Sammy that their father used to beat them, and that Smoke was the one who ended up killing him. Sammy realizes the guitar he's been playing all these years actually belonged to blues legend Charlie Patton, won by the twins in an old card game. The twins recruit aging blues musician Delta Slim, tempting him away from his usual Saturday gig with imported beer and the promise of steady pay. Stack's old flame Mary shows up uninvited, furious that he left her behind years ago. Their argument makes clear neither one has fully moved on from the other. On the road, Delta Slim tells a devastating story from his touring days about a friend who was lynched by a mob after being falsely accused of a crime. Cornbread wastes no time bragging to friends about his new job guarding the club, clearly proud that the famous Smokestack twins picked him personally. Back at the mill, Stack confronts a local field hand named Cornbread and hires him on the spot as muscle for the club, brushing off his young wife's objections. Smoke pays a visit to his former lover Annie, a root worker who once bore his child. Their reunion is tense but tender, circling old grief neither has let go of. Ilias agrees to cook for the opening once Smoke makes clear how much he still cares for the family, even after years away chasing money up north. Smoke also visits Annie's father Ilias to ask him to cook for the opening, admitting how much it still hurts to come back to that house, and how much he's missed them both. As night falls, the renovated sawmill transforms into Club Juke, packed with sharecroppers ready to eat, drink, and dance after a week of brutal fieldwork. Word spreads fast through the community, and by nightfall, a long line of exhausted sharecroppers and field hands are eager to spend their hard-earned money at the new club. Caroline needles Sammy about his talent going nowhere unless he actually commits to music full-time, refusing to sugarcoat the hard truth of a musician's life. Sammy meets a singer named Pearline, who's drawn to his talent and flirts openly with him despite being married, promising they'll see where the night takes them. Smoke catches Mary getting too close to the club's business and sends her off to check on Delta Slim, trying to keep old feelings from boiling over on opening night. The crowd calls for Sammy to play his own composition, a personal song addressed directly to his preacher father about choosing music over the church. Delta Slim, well into his cups, entertains the crowd with old road stories, while quietly admitting he doesn't expect to have many more good years left in him. As Sammy plays, his performance grows almost supernatural, conjuring visions of musicians from generations past and future dancing, alongside the crowd in the same room. Remick's victims at the isolated farmhouse initially believe they're helping a stranger being chased by Choctaw hunters, unaware of what he actually is. Miles away, a centuries-old vampire named Remick, fleeing pursuers, begs shelter at an isolated farmhouse and turns the couple who lives there into vampires like himself. Sensing something is deeply wrong with the three visitors, a pair of Choctaw hunters track Remick to the farmhouse, but arrive too late to stop him. Outside the club, Remick and his companions perform an old folk song of their own, its eerie beauty both charming and unsettling everyone within earshot. At night, Remick and his two new companions, Bert and Joan, arrive at Club Juke, drawn irresistibly by the power of Sammy's music, and ask politely to be let in. Grace Chow objects to the twins turning away paying customers just because they're white, worried it will hurt business on an already razor-thin opening night. Twins turn them away, sensing something deeply wrong despite the visitors' friendly, harmless act, and warn everyone inside not to let any of the three in under any circumstance. Worried about the club's shaky finances, Stack considers going out to negotiate directly with the strange trio waiting outside, certain he can talk real money out of them. Business talk turns tense between the brothers, as Stack argues they need every dollar they can get, and Smoke insists they can't trust strangers with money that clean. Backstage, Sammy tells Smoke that tonight's performance has convinced him to strike out on his own as a musician, instead of staying tied to the plantation. Mary slips outside to confront the visitors herself, and Remick's companion Joan bites and turns her, folding her into their small, growing group of the undead. After Mary is turned outside, she lures Stack out to join her, playing on his old feelings to draw him away from the safety of the club. Stack goes outside looking for Mary and is bitten too. He's carried back inside gravely wounded and appears to die in Smoke's arms only moments later. Devastated and confused, Smoke and root worker Annie realize this isn't an ordinary death. Annie identifies the visitors as something far worse than the ghosts of local folklore, vampires. Delta Slim initially dismisses the growing unease as nerves and too much drink, unaware he's already been quietly bitten himself earlier in the night. Annie explains what she knows: sunlight, wooden stakes, and killing every last one can free a victim's trapped soul, though the person they once were is already gone. Possibly, Stack gets back up and returns to the door, sounding exactly like himself, begging to be let back inside now that he's supposedly fine. When Stack begs to be let back in, he reveals he now shares Remick's memories completely, including proof that Hogwood's men were always coming for everyone regardless. Annie identifies that it isn't really Stack anymore, and the vampire posing as him reveals a devastating secret. Hogwood, who sold them the mill, is the local clan's leader, and always intended to have everyone at the club killed anyway. Trapped, the survivors test each other by eating raw garlic to root out anyone secretly infected. Tensions and suspicion tearing through the group, as Dawn still feels impossibly far away. Cornbread's wife Grace, frantic over her missing husband Beau, is manipulated by the vampires outside, and screams an angry invitation that unknowingly lets the horde inside. Panicking over her husband Beau's disappearance, Grace nearly gets everyone killed twice over, first by trying to leave, and then by screaming her rage straight at the vampires outside. During the chaos, Delta Slim finally succumbs to his earlier bite mid-fight, turning on the people he'd sworn all night to protect. Chaos erupts as Cornbread, already turned, attacks people inside the club, and the survivors scramble to fight off the growing swarm of vampires with silver, fire, and improvised stakes. Smoke uses silver and improvised wooden stakes to cut down vampire after vampire, as the siege reaches its bloodiest, most desperate point before sunrise. Annie sacrifices herself protecting Sammy from the horde, telling him with her last breath that everything connects them all: earth, beast, god, woman, and man. The sun finally up, the dead-eyed remnants of Remick's horde disintegrate in the light, a horrifying mercy after a night of unstoppable slaughter. As dawn finally breaks, sunlight tears through the club and destroys the vampires still inside, including Stack and Mary, in one horrific, tragic instant of release. Shattered Smoke finds Sammy alive and sends him home immediately, revealing the guitar was never Charlie Patton's at all. It belonged to their own father, and he begs Sammy to stay strong. Next morning, Hogwood and his clan, riders arrive at the club exactly as planned, intending to finish off any survivors themselves and be done with Club Juke for good. Sammy's father tries to shield him from the clansmen's guns, but is shot down attempting to protect his son, as Sammy barely manages to escape with his life. Alone and grieving everyone he loved, Smoke arms himself and single-handedly guns down Hogwood and his entire riding party in brutal, one-sided revenge before dying himself. In his final moments, Smoke has a peaceful vision of reuniting with Annie and the infant child they lost together, finally at rest after a lifetime of running. Decades later, in 1992 Chicago, an elderly Sammy has become a celebrated blues musician, still playing the same music that once nearly got him killed as a boy. After a show, two familiar faces from that long-ago night appear backstage: Stack and Mary, who survived as vampires all along and haven't aged a single day since 1932. They've come simply to hear him play one more time, and offer to turn him too so he'd never have to die, but Sammy gently declines, satisfied with the life he's lived. Three reminisce about that impossible, tragic night, agreeing that despite everything they lost, those few hours of music and freedom were still the best day of their lives.